So, und damit herzlich willkommen zurück bei The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, beziehungsweise bei The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. In dem letzten Part haben wir die 4. Episode, The Adventure of The Clouded Kokoro, angefangen. Ich weiß immer noch nicht, was ein Kokoro ist, aber ich weiß, was passiert ist, nämlich wir haben unseren nächsten Fall bekommen von dem Lord Strongheart, von dem Justice Minister von Großbritannien, und unser Angeklagter, unser Klient ist diesmal sogar ein Japaner. Ich habe vergessen, wie sein Name war. Ich glaube Natsume? Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Wenn Natsume falsch ist, dann ist es falsch, aber für den Zweck nennen wir ihn jetzt erstmal Natsume. Und ja, der soll auf offener Straße jemanden umgebracht haben. Einen Moment, ich muss nochmal kurz das Fenster schließen. So. Und ja, heute gucken wir, wie das weitergeht. Er hat jemanden auf offener Straße umgebracht. Es gab laut Polizei, laut Scotland Yard 2 Zeugen. Und letztendlich wurde er eingebuchtet, weil kein geringerer als Sherlock Holmes Schluss gefolgert hat, dass ja, dass er es war. Und dann ist er auch zu seiner Adresse gefahren und hat ihn da quasi festgenommen mit Scotland Yard zusammen. Und Scotland Yard und Sherlock Holmes haben so ein bisschen, ja, eine angespannte Beziehung, würde ich sagen. Und als wir das dann gehört haben von Scotland Yard, dass er aufgrund von Sherlocks Deduktion festgenommen wurde, sind wir erstmal in Sherlocks Büro gefahren. Und da haben wir dann Sherlocks Mitbewohnerin und Assistentin getroffen, Iris Wilson, ein kleines 10-jähriges Mädchen, die schon einen Doktortitel hat und Erfinderin ist, also alle möglichen Erfindungen macht. Die hat auch die Rauchbombe gemacht, die den Gerichtssaal in Tumult versetzt hat, sagen wir mal so, in Episode 3. Und ja, das wäre das soweit. Und jetzt haben wir von Iris erfahren, von seiner Assistentin, dass Sherlock Holmes gerade in der Wohnung von dem Angeklagten ist. Und da wollten wir jetzt als nächstes hin. Und das würde ich sagen, machen wir einfach. Und wir fangen an mit Episode 4, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Investigation Part 2. Let's go! '19th February, 2:38 p.m., Briarwood. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with the investigation. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Genau, wir haben von Iris diesen Brief bekommen, diese Postkarte. Und die sagte, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Okay. Und der sagt uns jetzt, wo das Opfer, wo der Angeklagte wohnt. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Converse, da hatten wir schon alles. Also präsentieren wir gleich die Postkarte. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship. Give that here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. I don't want... Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? Wie habe ich da I don't want gelesen? Keine Ahnung. What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is. Eine Appearance, Abgabe quasi. An appearance fee. Oh, I see, you mean... That's right, for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Ah, okay, also quasi bezahlt sie ihn dafür, dass sie über ihn schreibt in dem Wayne's Magazine. Ach, ich verstehe. Genau, weil sie ist auch die Autorin von dem Wayne's Magazine, von den ganzen Abenteuern von Sherlock Holmes. Und sie schreibt gerade das Abenteuer vom Speckled Band nieder, das was wir auf dem Schiff erlebt haben. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me, every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course. Her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for you. Never mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously, it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Als ob doch Natsume heißt. Und wie war sein Vorname nochmal? Tobias, nee. Soseki, genau, nicht, Satoru. Satoru war jemand anderes. Aber, Soseki. Very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding, mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in a white old hovel. It's just over there, look. Was ist denn Hovel? Hovel. Bruchbude, okay. On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle popped up. Lol. Lol, das haben wir schon untersucht. Ohne Fenster. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garrider. Right. Well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now then. And long live her ladyship. Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Okay, move. A new location has been added. Mr. Natsume's lodgings. The lodgings of Mr. Soseki Natsume, according to information gleaned from Inspector Gregson. Ich habe vergessen noch zu erwähnen, der Mr. Natsume ist Anglistik-Student, also ich darf nie nach England, sonst werde ich festgenommen. Aber ich bin kein Japaner, also vielleicht auch nicht. 19th February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Huh? May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrider? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrider. Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? Ich dachte, wir gehen in die Wohnung von ihm, aber okay. That was a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrider will see you now. This way. Okay. Good day to you, John Garrider, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maywan, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and downstairs now. I can tell you, don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. Da sollte jemand Ausdauer trainieren. Genau, Susato. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garride, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal is just a folder wall, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general though, so I grudgingly displayed it on my wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan! Fetch— Ah! Dash it all, woman! Be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir. Humph, you jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. Schon eine sehr tollpatschige Maid. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the cheap lodging downstairs. Is that why? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only two, please, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Als ob, ja! Natürlich ist es im Auge der Gesellschaft, im Public Eye. War ja auch so beim ersten Fall, als eine Engländerin in Japan angeklagt wurde. Okay, cooler Kontrast. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detectives poking around, you know? In this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all the detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Went's magazine here, so... Eh? Yeah, no, Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bloody nuisance, is what it is. Wie war das ausgesprochen? Nuisance. Hallo? Internet? Oh, ich habe kein Internet gerade. Perfekt. Ja, dann sage ich einfach so. Nuisance. Oh, wait. Auf dem Handy auch nicht? Warum habe ich kein Internet? Ist die Frage. Naja. Warte, jetzt hier.
Nuisance.
Nuisance, okay. Und was hieß das? Ärgernis, Belästigung. Okay. Interesting. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. About Mr. Natsume. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garride, please to tell us. Ah yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week. So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see? Ah! Dash it all, Joan! Do be careful! Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him, weil japanisch war oder was? Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. Okay, dann ist es doch nicht der implizierte Rassismus hier. Ich dachte schon, jetzt kommt jetzt wieder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. The shady lodger. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsuma? Oh, my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Was ist ein Orchard? Was ist ein Orchard, ist die Frage. Okay, ich muss wieder Handy benutzen, weil das Internetkabel scheinbar nicht funktioniert. Es ist eine Freude. Orchard. Obstgarten. Hä? Achso, er ist schattiger als ein Obstgarten. Okay, witziger Vergleich. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of the day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day, and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too. Oh, I see. Eine Nachteule. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known the Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsuma's routine? Oh! I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes, they are both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodge? Ist aber auch ein netter Vermieter, ne? Wenn der oben seine Fenster hat, aber unten die Fenster zugemauert hat. Das ist ja sehr freundlich. The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed. Ah! Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. Die verheimlichen was. The incident 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window. Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Wire Road. The incident took place on the pavement, just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrett household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well. Yes? Was there something then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but at around that sort of time... Ah! For the love of God, John, watch what you're doing! Oh, dear me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow. Yes. I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really, Mr. Garrett? The way you were talking before sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Not— Ah! Joan, Dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir? Nothing happened. Yes. Quiet. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. John? Oh, sie hat ihn gestoppt mit ihrem Kaffee. Dass er was sagt, und mit dem Tee eher. That's right, Mr. Garrett. What is the matter with these two? Was hat er gesagt? Garrett. Just a lot of time in here. Okay, sie versucht ihn ganz klar zum Schweigen zu bringen. It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Mr. Natsuma's room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsuma's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the floor. On the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak? Yes. Told me Natsu's name had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsuma has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsuma's room, I mean. Don't see why not. It's just one flight of stairs. Who knows if we find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we are there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Okay, können wir hier noch irgendwie... Was ist das hier unten? Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? Ein Schrank mit ganz vielen Köpfen drin. Entschuldigung, Walking Dead hat mich geschädigt. I'm going to have a very quick look, just a little peek. Ahem. Maybe let's not, Mr. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Ahem. Okay, maybe let's not then. Eine Kanone. That's a full-size cannon. What it's doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Bah, that's little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garrett? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there. Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. Alles klar. Hier ist eine Offiziersuniform. Oder eine Militäruniform viel eher. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after though. That old thing? Pah! Not much better than wax, really. Oh. Wore that ceremonial garb and my retirement badge, you know? But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. I would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Das sind ziemlich große Hülsen. Gucken wir uns die mal an. Are those mortar shells? They are enormous. Habe ich wieder Internet? Nein, habe ich nicht. Was ist das denn? Mortar. Myrtle, Granatwerfer. Okay. They are enormous. I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Those old things? Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know? Became a bit of colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean, you deliberately handed out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately exactly. They are only scrap iron after all, usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you know? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well. Joan here did manage to knock one of the belly things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no! Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know? Maybe we consider throwing them away. Hier, da die Medaille. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the bag of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I dispose of it. The wall is the best place for it, keeps the belly thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look! Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation." Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. So eine Teilnehmermedaille quasi. Ich damals immer bei den Bundesjugendspielen eine Teilnehmerurkunde bekommen. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. That portrait of Mr. Garrideb is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrideb as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Yes, seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with a little trinket. Pawnbroker? Mann, das wusste ich schon mal, was das heißt. Pawnbroker. Pfandleiher. Okay. Seem to come back? What do you mean? Okay. The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard who went in to sell him something and came out with a thing. In fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Susato-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter. Okay. Dann gehen wir nochmal hier rüber. Gucken aus dem Fenster. This window looks over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. Okay, also es ist zu kalt, um das Fenster zu öffnen. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Crockery ist Geschirr, glaube ich, aber ich guck mal nach. Bettgeschirr, ja. Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Was ist ein Dresser? Dresser. Kommode, wow. Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... Oh dear, it's in pieces. Oh, ja, tatsächlich. Das sieht man jetzt erst, weil meine Kamera... Na gut, man sieht es ein bisschen, aber so sieht man es besser. It's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do the Chinaware justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. Okay, ist hier hinter noch irgendwas? Nein, nur das Essen hier. Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on the gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up. It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know? It is quite the English way. Indulgence? Genuss. Ah, okay. It is Mr. Garridup's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garridup doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you. Okay. Ich glaube, dann können wir erstmal weiter. A new location has been added. Mr. Natsume's room. A small dark room rented by a visiting scholar from the Empire of Japan by the name of Susiki Natsume. Und hier war es, a suite on the top floor of the Garridup household, occupied by the landlord Mr. Garridup and his wife. The window looks out over Briarwood below. Okay. A small dark room.